Brutal. I'll bring you a special video today. I will be travelling across the city in the morning to take part in a tower running training session. Now, if you don't know what that is, it is basically where you find a high-rise building and use the internal staircase to craft a exercise session. Simple, right? Now, obviously you can't just walk into any building and use their stairs. You have to have access, you have to have permission. Now, I am very fortunate enough to be taking part in this training session with a collection of active operational firefighters who will be there to not only take part in exercise to maintain their operational fitness, but they have a tower running competition a little bit further down the line. So having early access to a building like this just means they can get some quality training in. For me, it just means I can tag along and sort of film and create a little bit of content and just see what the crack is. Now, we are going to be using this building. It is the Summit building. It's the third biggest in the city. It's 22 stories and 70 meters high. And while it's not as tall as, say, some of those in London or New York or wherever, it is hours for the hour, which means we can craft a session however we like, and we can use the stairs as many times as we can cram in that time. So there's no real limit on it. If you've ever done this kind of training before, if you've ever done stair climbing, you will soon realize that it is devastating on both your cardio combined with the lactic acid buildup in your legs. It just creates sort of the perfect storm. It is really tough and brutal, in fact. So all I want from tomorrow is a good session and to not be sick on the floor of a student accommodation block. So yeah, assuming that I do not vomit, I will bring you a half decent video out of it. So let's go. I'll hand over to me, who's already there. Morning everyone. It's bright and early and I'm here at the Summit building right behind me for some tower running training. I'm going to be accompanied by a collection of operational firefighters. I'm going to meet those guys inside and we're going to do a session that's being run by their fitness leader, John. Now, as I understand it, we're going to be doing sections of the building at first with a couple of full runs top to bottom, or bottom to top rather. All right, let's get inside. Good morning everybody. I am now inside the Summit Tower. I've found the staircase. I think I'm a bit keen first here. Just sort of getting the lay of the land. So I think the leader of the session is going to put us through a warm-up and then various exercises up and down the stairs. I'm going to have to track this on cardio mode. I'm only really interested in heart rate, which I suspect will be high before the end. Right, I'm going to go see if everyone is here and start to get ready. Okay, so starting off the session with a walk, 10 floors, just to get us warmed up. 2 steps at a time. Okay, so it was at this point all the firefighters had got there. We'd made our way up to the 5th floor. Why the 5th floor? We were on the 5th floor because the floors below us, the lights weren't working properly, and it's not really safe to do running in the dark on a flight of stairs. It's a little bit unsafe. So we went up to the 5th floor to operate between floors 5 and 10, and the idea was that we would run from as hard as we can, as fast as we can, from 5 to floor 10, and then at the top of the rep at floor 10, we would start a timer that gave us 3 minutes rest. That included the descent down the 5 flights of stairs that we had just ran up. So at the bottom we then had the remainder of time. And this was due to be repped 16 times. 16 times, times 5 floors. So yeah, the floors soon start to add up at this point. So it's begun. Going up to 5 floors at a time this time. Ramping it up. Keep my eye on the stairs. Here we go again. Oh shit, gotta keep my eye on the stairs and start to blend together. So 2 of 16. So, on the 5th floor, all the firefighters are currently poised and they're doing sets between the 5th floor and the 10th floor, and they are rinsing and repeating that particular bracket. Now, I've asked very nicely if I can have a go all the way to the top, so that's what I'm going to do now. On the 5th rep, I put my hand up and said, can I have a go at doing the full tower? It felt it's too tantalising to go to a tower that tall, have that opportunity and not want to run the entire thing. Now, if you've ever done a tower of this size, if you've ever ran 22 floors of stairs, you'll soon realise it's not something you do many times. So I went down on my own and filmed one full ascent. And so that's what I did. I ran through all the dark floors, and there was quite a few of those, and I got all the way up, and I got to about, say, maybe floor 18 on this first pass before the sort of cardio side of things really started to catch up with me. Obviously my legs were burning hard at that point, consuming all the oxygen that I was breathing, and I just gassed out. So for about 1 floor I think I walked it. The rest it was 2 steps at a time running. Obviously I slowed down probably as I got closer to the top, and unceremoniously arrived at the top floor in the dark. Okay. I am holding onto the rail because I'm using the camera as well. I'll be keeping a close eye on my heart rate on this one. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'll pace myself. Okay, that's floor 1. Floor 2. 3rd floor. Oh, this one's a bit dark. 5th. 6th. Coming by. Go on, man. 7. Go on. 8. Oh, I'm starting to blend together the stairs. 9. 10. 11. Tell me the last time I was like that. 12. 13. Oh my God. 14. 15. 16. I was never ending. 20. 21. 上がってますから。So, I was 22 floors. Lactic acid built up at around floor 15. It was just too much. I had to slow down. Picked it up again in there. Picked it up again in the second half.
Fun times. What better way to spend your Friday morning?
I realised my heart rate at that point was 165, I think it was, and I was gassing, like proper mouth open breathing. I needed a second. And then I could start to think about going back down. And it seems to take ages to go back down. When you're not like driving up the stairs, obviously the downs are rest in this particular context. We're not trying to go down the stairs as fast as possible because it's bad for your knees and you're likely to have an accident. So they were taken more sensibly. And then I rejoined the sort of the team session that was going on and picked up. I'd only really missed one, I believe, and we just carried on doing those 5 floors over and over and over again.
Okay, so just in case you didn't know, this building is 22 floors up, 70 metres. I've done plenty of floors today. Currently on about 600 calories.
Okay, so that was the tower running from just this morning, and it was really, really good. So I have spent my entire day at work immediately after training this session, and I work in a building that has plenty of stairs in it, so I've been having to deal with those all day. Jelly legs aside, what did I get from the session? What did I think about the session and how did it go? Well, it went really well. Let's just sort of go over some of the numbers. For a start, it's a 22-storey building and it's about 67 metres in height. Today we did 114 floors total. When you add up all the floors that I ascended, it was 114. Okay, so that works out at 1,938 steps that have been ascended, and that has been calculated as 347 meters in actual height. It doesn't sound like loads and loads and loads, but to put it into perspective, the Eiffel Tower is only 330 meters, and that's right up to the tip bit, the lightning rod bit. So to manage 347 meters before breakfast and before work is really quite a little achievement. How did it go? Well, we did the running between floors 5 and 10, as you've seen, but the ones that really tested me were the ones from the ground to the roof, 0 to 22, and it would normally sort of manifest in the sort of complete inability to breathe at about floor 17 or 18. It's really tough when the biggest muscles in your body are consuming all the oxygen that you're breathing in, and even then it's not enough. So you can't help but slow when this starts to happen to your body. But it was really good. And once I'd caught my breath and recovered, I was able to descend back down to floors 5 to 10 and resume in the sort of the organised exercise session that was taking place. I'm very glad I was able to do the bottom to the top, Because I don't think I would have been able to go to that building, looking at it from the outside and going, wow, look at the height of that, and then only do some of it. I had to get that out. I had to do that. And I probably will have to do that once at least every time I go to one of these types of sessions. I just want to say thank you to John and the other firefighters that were there. It's great to do this sort of thing with other people, especially people as like you that are into the same kind of things as you, like fitness. And it was just a really great opportunity. It's so out of the ordinary for someone like me, someone who just runs and gyms. It's very out of the ordinary to do something like tower training. If you do get an opportunity to do such a thing, if you work or live in a building of that sort of magnitude that has an open staircase that you can run up and down, I heavily recommend giving it a go. The sort of impact that it would have on your fitness if you could do that regularly would be amazing. Okay, so that's enough said. Thank you for watching this video. Please give the channel a subscribe on your way out, and I will see you soon. Mart out.